Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Raptor. This is a game I heard a lot about. Eric Somerville with the Dice Tower talked about this a lot. And I play a lot of two-player games with my family, my wife, and friends. And I like asymmetrical ones. War of the Ring is probably my favorite two-player game. Raptor is unique, I think, in that it is asymmetrical, but it's very similar. So you both have the same 9 cards. The power's a little bit different, but the powers almost seem to be inverses of each other, which is interesting to me. Some of them play differently. The Observe plays differently for the dinosaur than the Jeep does for the scientist. And the win conditions are a little bit different. One's the same. Dinosaurs went 3 off, and the scientists want to capture 3. And then you have kill the mother and kill all the scientists. So they're almost mirror images, but they play different enough that playing both sides is really fun. And digging a strategy for each side may be a little bit different. And that strategy is going to be different based on who you're playing. And I got to play this with a couple different people. One really liked it, and one sort of liked it, and I really liked it. It is a game that you have to adapt to your player more than there's a 1 or 2, 3, 4 strategy. These are more than these are viable strategies. You're going to have to morph and play off your opponent here. The components are just wonderful in this game, much better than they deserve to be. And I say that because they could have got away with less, and they didn't. They didn't, which is wonderful. This is a fantastic two-player game that's asymmetrical, that plays both ways, that has such a cool theme. Everybody I play with wants to be the dinosaurs. It's just fun. They knocked it out of the park with this one. With that said, this isn't War of the Ring. It's not an epic experience. I'm going to probably play in 15 to 30 minutes. With that said, we've had very memorable games. We've had a lot of games that were very memorable, where I remember, and it came down very close to each other. So Raptor's going to be a hit for me. I'm going to recommend it for you, and I'm going to say it's going to be a keeper, and you're not going to get this one out of my collection probably for quite a while. This is something you bring to the table. People are like, what? Oh, yeah, I'm in. Dinosaurs? Yeah, I'm good here. It plays that well. This may be the best dinosaur game on the market. I had talked about Trios a little bit. I still want to get Triassic Terror to the table a few more times. Raptor's right there. Con, it plays 2 players. I mean, you're only going to play it 2 players, and it's on the lighter side. And there is a little bit you have to download in your brain to play, but the player aids are really good. So, keeper for me. Here's the box for Raptor. It's a fairly sized normal box. I might even say Carcassonne size. The artwork is fantastic on the front. This really brings the game alive and tells you what's going on. And also, honestly, tells you how the game plays. Somewhat. You're going to get a rule book. The rule book is really good. It's got colors and pictures. And you have a couple pages for the Raptors, a couple pages for the scientists, and that's the game, folks. You get these player aids. They're not hard cardboard, but they do the job. They just lay flat. You're not going to be shuffling them up very much. And they're just, a player aid. And they do a very good job of telling you not only what you do, but what your opponent can do, which I really like. So you're not in the complete dark about what your opponent does. You're going to get these tiles. They're double-sided. You can play jungle or savanna. I haven't looked at it, but I think it's different. A little bit different of a setup. So it's not just cosmetic. And then you're going to get these L shapes that sit around the board. Mine didn't punch perfectly. You're going to get a number of these rocks, these 3D rocks. They're cool. I mean, they're just space you can't go over. This is pimping the game out and making it look better. Not completely necessary, but appreciated just the same. And then you're going to get a number of cards. You're going to get a set of cards for the scientists, and an almost exact set for the Raptor player. I say almost because the numbers are going to be the same, 1 through 9. but the powers are going to be different. So let's take a look at some of this. Just look at the artwork right now. The artwork is great in this game, and the pictures tell you what you're doing in the power, which is really cool. And it plays off itself really well. Everybody who plays with me always wants to be the dinosaur player, which I understand. Very neat. This is probably the best art in the game to me. But everything kind of tells you, the picture tells you what's going on with the icons, which I think is really neat. And then you're going to get a number of fire tokens. That looks like this. Circles, because that's what the circles on the board will be. And then you're going to get a number of miniatures. Here is the mother. And you're going to get a number of scientists. All the scientists are in different poses, which is a great. I mean, they're really small. I'm not really sure. I don't know much about painting, if you could paint something this small, but they do look fantastic. I'm sure somebody has the skills to do it. And then here's the baby ones, the baby dinosaurs. So, great component upgrades here. I mean, they've done a really good job what's in this box. There's some free air in here. I guess it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but it's sufficient, and it works. The rules for Raptor are pretty clear. It's professionally done. You get at the beginning what all players can do and how to win. Then you get a little set here for the dinosaur player and a little set here for the scientist player, and it plays really well. And then you get some, like, don't forget these easily forgotten things. What you're really going to want to focus on are these player mats, and I can teach the game off these player mats, which is wonderful. And what's so great about it is, if you're the scientist player, they tell you down here what the dinosaur can do, and vice versa. And it's so helpful to know what the other cards are and what they can do. And there's only 9 different cards, but really, 4 of those are going to be variations of the other ones. The rules are super clear. You do have to download a little bit in your mind before you play. To play effectively, you're going to have to know what the cards, but just play one time, and then the second time you're good to go, because you'll understand what everything does. Yeah, here's sort of what the game would be set up like. It would be actually double this size, but I just want to focus in right here. So when the game sets up, and this would be the middle, you can put the mother anywhere you want in these two, and then a baby would go on each of the remaining spaces. And then after that, the scientist player would put 4 out, 1 on each of these L-shaped ones, and there'd be another set over there. What you're trying to do here is, if you're the scientist player, you're trying to capture 3 babies. Okay, put them to sleep and then capture them, or put the mother to sleep by shooting her 5 times. If you're the dinosaur player, the raptor player, you are trying to get 3 of these guys to escape, and they escape by sitting on these half circles right here, and there'll be 4 of them on the board, 2 more over there. Or you destroy all of the scientists. Now, they will only start with 4 on the board, so they will have some that will come on the board later, but you can win that way. Now, the way the game is played, you're each going to have a set of cards, and you're going to shuffle them up, and you're going to draw 3. Okay, and I'm just going to draw 1 randomly. And then the scientist guy will do the same thing, and you guys will both play cards face down, flip them over simultaneously, and here's how it works. Whoever has the lower number, the 5, will activate the power on the card. Whoever has the higher number will go after that person and subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2, so you have 2 action points to use. Let me show you that again. 4 is smaller, activate the power. 6 is bigger, 6 minus 4 is 2, you have 2 action points. Let me show you again. This is the you never want it to come out like this. But 1, activate the power because it's smaller. 9 minus 1 is 8. You have 8 action points. Okay. Easy. Easy. So let me go through what you can do on a turn. Okay? I'm going to show you what this dinosaur player can do. Then I'll show you what the scientist can do. And then you will understand the game. And really, understanding these cards is the basis of the game. But if the dinosaur player has action points, he could move a baby to a neighboring space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Easy. The mother, on the other hand, moves in straight lines. 1, 2. Right there. Now, next thing she can do is eat him! Ah, and he's out of the game for good. that would be 3. If the baby falls asleep, you can wake it up by the mother being next to it for an action point. Or if there's a fire token on the board, the mother can whip her tail and get rid of everyone, the fire token and the ones adjacent. So if there was one down here, she could get rid of these 2, but not that one. And that's the 5 actions that the dinosaur player can take. The baby can move, the mother can move in a straight line orthogonally as far as she wants. You can kill a scientist if you're next to it, wake up a sleeping baby if you're next to it, or put out fire if you're next to it. Now let me go through their cards. This is the number 1. This means the mother can take any baby on the board and put it next to her on the same tile. Just like that. Also, now when you play these cards, you can't pick them up unless all the cards have been used or you play this card. And this allows you to pick up your discard. Alright, let me show you 2. 2 is observe. And what this allows you to do is take mother off the board. Now, then the scientist player would go. And after they're finished, you can put mother back on the board anywhere you want. And this is a great way to move mother around the board. Also, next turn, the scientist player has to show their card first, and then dinosaur player would select, which is really helpful. Number 3 is fear. Very easy. You just knock them over. And now, on the scientist's turn, he would have to, and he can't do it on the same turn, but on the next turn he'd have to spend action point to stand them up. And that's fear. This is same as 1, except you don't get to use a discard, and you can do 2 baby dinosaurs by you instead of 1. And you'll see a lot of these tend to repeat. This allows you to take, if they were able to shoot you with bullets, which put the mother raptor to sleep, you can take 2 of these off of her. Okay? This is the same as 2. So you have 2 opportunities to use this. They work exactly the same as observe. That's where you take mother off the board and put her back. And then you have this one, which plays exactly like 5. Except instead of taking 2 off, you can now take 3 off. Now this is harder because this, obviously this would only be played if the other side used an 8 or 9. If 2 numbers are played the same, they cancel each other out. This one plays exactly like number 3, but instead of taking 1 person off, or fear, you can do 2. And then 9 has no effect. It will always be discarded if there plays a 9, or you'll get action points. Very cool art. So let me show you what the scientist player can do. A scientist can move to an adjacent step, just like the baby. That's 1. If the guy was frightened, you can stand him up. That's 2. You can, if you're next to a baby, you can put him to sleep. That would take an action point. If they're asleep, you can take them off the board, and that would be 1 of the 3 that you would need to win the game. Or you can shoot the mother, and you can shoot her in a straight line, and you would take this bullet and you would put it on her to put her to sleep. Remember, she has ways to take these off of her. 5 of those though, and you win the game. Let me go over the scientist cards with you. Okay. Number 1, you can put any baby asleep on the same tile or a neighboring tile, and then pick up the discard just like the dinosaur. This allows you to take 2 of these scientists and put them on the board anywhere across the top and bottom. Now remember, once a scientist is killed, they're gone for good. This is only your initial supply that you have that were left in the supply. This gives you Jeep movement. The way Jeep movements, you're allowed to move like the mother. You can move in straight lines, like this, instead of just 1 space at a time. So that can really help you out. This allows you, just like number 1, but you can put 2 to sleep instead of 1. This allows you to put fire. Fire always has to be either adjacent to fire or adjacent to a scientist. Okay. This allows you to put 2 more people on the board with a little bit different rules. You can go across the bottom and top. This allows you to put 3 fire out instead of 2 like the other one. And this one gives you 4 Jeep movements instead of 2. Once again, you can move as far as you want orthogonal until you bump into something. And then 9 has no power. So the game is fairly easy. You each are going to play a card. You have 3 in your hand. You're going to play a card simultaneously face down. One player is going to do the action. The other player is going to do the action points. And that is Raptor. Who should buy this game? Anybody looking to play a 2-player asymmetrical game. Anybody looking for good 2-player games. This is it, guys. This is a good 2-player game. This is going to be the best 2-player game of the year. It's not going to have the depth of a Twilight Struggle or War of the Ring or some kind of deep experience, but this is not a light luck affair. There is some luck in what cards are going to be drawn, but it's what you do with those that matter and how you react to your opponent. If you think your opponent has 1s, 2s, and 3s in his hand, ditch that 1 that you have. If you think he has that 9, do not play that 1. And the dinosaur player has that observe that lets the scientist player play first, which is helpful. It seems pretty well balanced. I had a good time with it. I'm not the type of person that wants to break a game or figure out how to beat it or that kind of thing. I like to experience games and have fun with them. So I'll stay away from anything like that. But I haven't heard anything. This is a wonderful game. If you're into 2 players at all, buy this game. If you're into asymmetrical games at all, buy this game. This is something, I mean, we might end up in classic territory here for me. We might end up where, like, this might be a go-to 2-player game. The theme and the way you play and how light it is and how strategic it can be and the playing off your opponent and the mind games. This might go down in the top 10 2-player games, and that to me is a classic. In the top 10, for me, you're a classic. And this could be it. Probably not top 10 games of all time, because I enjoy a deeper experience. But this box, there's hidden strategy in here. So, keeper, grab this one sight unseen if you can get it.